Hello. Good morning, good day, good afternoon, evening, whatever time zone in the world you all are. It's your blue archive gacha where beginner artist self-proclaimed and your boy Tosanyu. Welcome to the stream for today. This is like a Zatsudan stream, but also I have like Clip Studio Paint here open, so which also means yeah, I'm probably gonna like draw something, but don't like keep your expectations like don't keep it high, you know, keep it like rather low. This reason like I kind of stream today is like I don't have like many open spots like to stream, and let's say like right after work I kind of like feel tired. I came like home like from work and just like wanna like sit down, like relax a little bit and like talk and maybe like draw like by the way. On the topic is like here that hey, we're gonna draw some blue archive doodles, you know, so maybe you can maybe, you know, it's like a trade-off. Keep the stream open and I'm gonna do you something of a I'm gonna draw some eye candy here later on. something like that. Why like Blue Archive? I mean, yeah, it's like a game I like, but at the same time, like last week on a Sunday, there was like some announcements like for with the JP live stream that like new characters came like out, or like rather old characters finally being playable after like 6 years roughly, and yeah, which is like the Fox Squad of like the SRT special response team or so. And I liked some of the characters there, like Nico the most, and yeah, probably gonna like take the time to draw them, I suppose. And yeah, but also there are like other like kind of besides like the playable characters, there's also like updates to the story, and it's kind of like, you know, when I always like see the pictures and like the trailer, PV stuff, you know, it looks like interesting, and then it's like, man, I want to read that, but at the same time, if I recall like every single reading experience like past Isaku-san, it's kind of like, yeah, it's gonna be like wordy, I have like to read a lot, and no, yeah, so yeah, it's like that, but can't be ever, I suppose. The least I can like do is like read it, you know, like give a try, but at the same time, if I really want like some better story or like something different, I could like move on to something else, I'd say. So yeah, shall I draw free flow? Yeah, I shall draw free flow. Let's start around here. Draw something warm-up wise. I suppose I can like draw something warm-up wise. How about Yukino? Yukino, the leader of the Fox Squad. You have on the left side some samples on like what you can expect if I draw like in chibi style, you know, it's like kind of small. They have a cute vibe. There's color, but if I draw like doodles, it's like if I like want to practice warm up, you know, it's not necessarily like that I draw chibis. They're like way too easy that I do not need to like really think much about it. But yeah, like some more natural like body proportions, it's like different, I suppose. But I wanna like practice that too, so that it can like be something that can like yeah, work out. Hmm. You know, even though I talk like a blue archive, when that like the reading experience can like it gets like not really that rewarding, you know. Especially like it's like how the storytelling has been like going, like not visual anymore, like show don't tell, but it's like a lot of explaining, info dumping, and yeah, it's kind of like, you know, it's like kind of nitpicking here and there, but same time I've been like with this game for a long time, like game came like out 2020, you know, and like here with us in global came like roughly around end of 2020 or like beginning of 2021, you know, but still like, you know, it's kind of like what writing styles don't evolve like that way, you know, or like devolve, but yeah. So I'm kind of like glad if I can like play other games and like you know, sometimes you have like to go like through something unpleasant to like really like notice that there are like some banger writing stories out there, you know. And at some point I kind of like got the recommendation of like maybe, you know, play like other games, in gacha games maybe. And it's kind of like gacha games take a lot of time, you know, especially if you're like gonna commit to them, but you live only one time, and at some point the games are gonna hit our end of service, you know. Of course you can still read the stories maybe like on YouTube and such, but if you want to play it on your own, you know, you can only do so much. Arknight's Infield I like tried out, you know. I still have a recording on like my day 3. It's kind of like, it was kind of fun in the beginning, but later on I can't really keep up anymore, like with the dailies especially, and like optimizing, you know, like with the factory must grow thing. I kind of understand that, and like, and so, but the tutorials were really long, and I did took time like at a Sunday for like about 5 hours to progress, you know, but even after that 5 hours I still felt like I haven't like made much progress, and especially like the story, like it was kind of a slogfest, kind of a slog. And even after I processed progress that much and processed like information of many different kinds, you know, it's still like not really much. It's kind of like, yeah, girl's sick, can you do something? Oh, yeah, we have the ability to like do factory and like use the environment and resources to like make something. Yeah, here we go. And then it's kind of a transition to tutorial, like how to build, and it's kind of like takes too long. The loading times were like great though, and the graphics and such, you know, but it's just like, it looks pretty, but when it comes like to the gameplay of like building, it takes too long. Also like the wording, just like it was all voice acted, you know, like full voicing, but looking at over that, the content, the writing style, it's kind of like, it's a lot of nothing. It's a lot of nothing. I should like start drawing, talking like too much, but like I say, I'm gonna doodle, so what that does mean, I will not really like try to go for cleanliness. like regarding the Fox Squad, I like Nico, I think like the most. Very motherly. It's like the mom of the squad. Does like the cooking kind of, like with the inari sushi. Probably like gets a little bit of like pocket money or so. And I'm kind of into that, I must like say. Also, like the proportions are like not too unrealistic, bombastic like Nasa Lane or so, but also like not too small that it's like the Uo Kane, you know. But it's like kind of like balanced right in the middle, and it's like, okay, yeah, this is great. And yeah, there's like not really much to dislike, TBH. They did like a good job, as always, like to make the characters likable, you know, and so that like if you wanna, that you have kind of argument, okay, I wanna pull this character if they're gonna be playable, and now that they're playable, it's kind of like, yeah, let's go, you know. And then yeah, if you like, for example, do like a really hated characters, and when this becomes playable, I wonder, like, you know, I probably like think there will not be like too much of reception there, or like, you know, like how many new players like can like attract. Sometimes for people it's just like the design, you know, like how the character looks like. But also like, but it's also like to the extent like that people like get attached to a character because of the story, and then, you know, you kind of like have to make them compelling also. But, you know, I think like it's not always like about the background or like backstory or so. Sometimes it's really like about how they look like and like what their personality is like, you know. I suppose. I like watch some videos kind of like that, kind of like glazed Stellar Sora, you know. It's like a gacha game that came like out somewhere last year. Like pretty one of the earlier ones, I suppose, and it had like a little bit of like the first news I kind of like heard is like was like closed beta testing, and then some people like report good things, but after it got like officially launched to be like a playable game, then there was like kind of there were like negative news or so, like from players or so, and kind of was like, okay, maybe not gonna play it, and yeah. But after like a while, there was like an anniversary 3D Tyrant, Ochan, and some got like, okay, let's play that, and actually they had like some good news to like report, I suppose, and it had like something to do with the story and the storytelling, for example, you know, and kind of like convinced me, I'd say. I would like to give like another gacha game like a try. I mean, I've tried Enfield, Arknights Enfield is kind of like like in the long run, I must like say. But if it comes like to let's try that new. If it comes like to, yeah, Stellar Sora, well, yeah, I suppose can do that. But not sure about streaming, I must like say. The thing is, like, after you like are done with tutorials, then they bombard you with like a lot of UI stuff, and it's kind of like, maybe I can like do it like a let's play series, you know, just like cut out the unnecessary grindy stuff, you know. But yeah, not sure. Like, I don't think that mobile gaming, like watching someone play a mobile game, is like the most interesting thing. Like if it's console game, PC game, kind of like reasonable, you know, but if it's like, yeah, playing a mobile game, you know, things like Jetpack Joyride, or like Angry Birds, you know, like if you think like mobile game, you know, it's like this arcade game, like pretty like short session, written jar. So nothing against those, but I don't think it's like the most interesting to watch. Like to play it yourself, yeah, let's go. Or like if you watch want to watch some speedrunner record or so, how long they can like endure, you know, and something like that. But if it's like something like, you know, the gameplay loop, the repetition, I don't know. But if they read the story, yeah, sure, I suppose. Those kind of like contents that like are in regards on like experiencing the story, they're not necessarily like react videos, you know, because they play like something, they actually like the inputs on like their own decisions and skill level, team build or whatever, you know. But it's like more or less a reaction stream, right? Events like, oh, I want to see like how this person like thinks and reacts about that situation here, and then yeah, and you know. But I'm not really sure like if my kind of input is like any interesting. It can be probably like, ooh, Kane, and yeah, whole character's so cute, and it's gonna be not much productive, you know. There are like a lot of like female streamers like that as well. Oh, how cute, and yeah, and I don't know like how much I can like add there, but I heard like that the storytelling is like pretty nice. It's like it uses actually its visual medium to like you know, convey stuff without like dumping like exposition and like text onto you. So this is like something I really like missed after things in Blue Archive writing changed, and yeah. In terms of like the visual design, like Blue Archive, you know, like character design, the UI, the gameplay, it's good. I like it. The characters are likable too, but if it comes like to the writing, it becomes like more noticeable for me, I suppose. Of course, it's not always the same writer, like writing the same like kind of stories, you know. Like sometimes they like have different kind of ones. Like if you go like from Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume 4, you know, you probably notice, I did at least notice, like there's a little bit of a difference there. But yeah, the main writer back in the days had like a clear vision, kind of like at the very least like what the ending should be, and then it's like, okay, writer, you can like write however you want, but it needs to end like in this way, kind of like thing, you know. Something. That there's a little bit of a vision on like how it goes, the climax and such, and then yeah. And this can be kind of nice to like offer a canvas, but at the same time, you know, it's like an editor, you know, like for like those stories, manga or so. That you like kind of like know how much you can F around, you know, but at the same time don't go too far to FA, you know, to find out. Not really sure like how to draw out those ears, like in what way, in what order do you do it correctly? Like drawing those fox ears or so, or cat ears. Kemono BB, right? Yeah, Kemono BB. It's like probably the right term. They have pretty long ears. I'm gonna like try with Yukino, start with Yukino first, you know, like as a warm up. The thing is like if I want to try Nico, I like want... It's like kind of like doodling, you know. It's like not really like the creme de la creme, you know, the best out there, but yeah. Not really sure if that's like how you use creme de la creme. But yeah. I know like a dude in the Blue Archive community who's like a massive Yukino fan, you know, and when they like saw like that the Fox got out, like Nico, Kurumi, Otogi, I think like they were like kind of hype. Okay, Yukino 2, please. This is my waifu. I waited 6 years for her. Please release him, and she didn't got released with the other girls. It's kind of like, yeah, I think like he got debated. He like pretty angry, you know. But at the same time, whenever you like post something with Nico, not the Nico Yukino, like in the Discord server he is, you know, like he also like is, he somehow can detect that. Not maybe like immediately, but sometimes like delayed, and so, but he will always like react and like ping you, reply ping, you know. It's kind of like, yeah. I'm not really sure like how his detection like works like outside of Discord, you know, like if I like decide to draw her, then he spawns or so. But yeah, but not gonna like name the guy. But the guy like also like commissions like someone who spent like, I don't know like how much, like thousands of like bucks or so for the commissions, you know, please draw her. And yeah, not necessarily sure if they did NSFW, but what I like saw like on commissions like shared, you know, that got like accepted, you know, and like got completed, were like safe for work. So I probably like think, yeah, they're pretty much a weep, but maybe like too much of a weep, that they get like to attach to a fictional character and be like have like some but yeah, at the same time I think like me back in the days was like something to the extent as well, and I suppose, you know, cringe but free, you know. Okay, I like the school outfit they like wear. They have like a military outfit, no, not military gear, but they wear like school uniforms, you know, like sailor of Ku. Sailor of Ku. Kind of like slabs, I suppose. But I don't know, but I don't want to try the full gear, I suppose. Even though it does like kind of slab, like when you mix like things like badassery with like something common, and they can be like seen as cute as well, I suppose. Yeah, keep it simple for now. I don't want to try everything. For free? Yes, for free. It's the best price, I suppose. That's just like, you know, in things you don't like get many things. You don't get everything, not everything for free. There's always like a give and take, you know. But things like always like there's a little bit of an intellectual property, you know, like not used for AI training or so, you know. Or if you shared like credit me or something like that, you know. Like some people have like those kind of like wish as well, you know. People like repost something, then they get like 1,000 likes. The originally was only like 500 or so. It's kind of like, hey, please shout at me at least, you know, something like that, because they do want the clout, I suppose, you know. Like people like want a little bit of motivation, to like a reason to like, okay, let's draw the next picture, you know, at the very least. So yeah. Sometimes it's like fine for some artists, you know, to not get anything in return, but you know, life is like a give and take, you know. If you want something, then you have like to do something for it, you know, something like that. And I feel like some people are like cool with like, yeah, they don't really care, but sometimes it's like really nice gesture if you like, you know, at least do the shout out. But if some are like, hey, do not reuse, do not repost, you know, then yeah, don't let them do it, I suppose. There are always like some guidelines here and there, you know, because at the end of the day not your drawing, you know, it's like someone else's, you know, then respect that, I suppose. In my case, I don't really mind unless if you like can like shout out me, it's like cool, you know. When it comes to the AI training, like using my art to like train some machine, I'm not really cool with that. I mean, like a lot of artists are not cool with that, you know. I mean, kind of explainable. I don't know how to draw like the headphones they're like wearing. Or like their gear, like how you call it. The military gear. Seems like just a normal like ass girl. Maybe I should like draw the halo, yes. At least like something that looks like the halo. And then it's like, oh, it's Yukino in there, I suppose. Yeah, it's a little bit better with the halo. Not perfect, but it's better enough. It's always like the thing, like with like some extra details on the characters that you do not forget. Sometimes, oh, they have like a beauty mark, you know, like somewhere. Like the most popular position to like put a beauty mark is like under one eye or so. And then if the character's like kind of like soft, you know, pretty vulnerable, then kind of with the beauty mark, you know, it kind of looks like they're crying, you know. And then it's like, oh, cute, you know, it's like constantly there. But sometimes it can like get pretty spicy, you know, if like the beauty mark is like on a boob, you know, or like next somewhere close to like, I don't know, like lips. Not the lips like on the head, you know, but but yeah, but also like lip is like kind of also like a good spot, you know. Yeah, and you kind of like, you know, like kind of like that the eyes are like drawn towards it one singular point, something like that, like guiding your eyes, you know, and using this kind of like the advantage to like, you know, to like make a good design. Or like guiding like one eyes, you know. It is like cool, I suppose. Now that I think about it, do I have like beauty moles or beauty marks? Also a mole somewhere. I have some. but I will probably not share like where, you know. But if I could like draw on my character, I'm not sure. I can't draw her well, really. Like, I don't really get the hair, I suppose. I drew her like a little bit too cute, I suppose. Well, it was like a warm-up for starters. I think if I draw like the next girl, it's gonna be like a lot more... Nah, let's see. Maybe it can be slightly better. No colors. For starters, no colors. I did download something. Can like unzip that, I think. I did like got something from Pixiv or so, that they like have their post collection or something like there. And I think like I could like use that to like yeah to draw like more expressive like kind of art, I suppose, but it's like for the most part practice. Let's see, I could like do I draw it small or big? Draw it like smaller. Don't use too much space. Also draw hands. I think like, yeah, I think like I'm gonna draw Kurumi. I think she's cute. And there's like something about like touching the tummy. There was like something that she hurt her tummy also, like that the target's like on there, and then since like a lot of like fan art, like something about her tummy or something like that. And when she got like released as a character, like line, you know, like when we recruit her or something like, hey, don't touch my tummy, you know. Like probably like the literal translation is like, hey, don't touch my stomach, but I think like tummy, you know, it's gonna be like the more, I hope like it's gonna be translated or localized like that. Like tummy sounds like pretty cute, I suppose, you know, like you can like some body parts like kind of cute names, you know. Like breasts. And it's like boob or booba, you know, something like that. That yeah, people give it like some other name. Yeah, tummy sounds like nice. I don't know. Yummy tummy, you know. Rolls like off the tongue pretty well. And to BH, like a certain artist kind of like made me appreciate like that a lot more, like this body part. There's like something about this area, like on a girl. I'm sorry. I'm just like, dude. I'm just a little guy, come on. And yeah, even if it's not 2D but like 3D, this part can look pretty nice if that's the only thing that's like on the photo, you know, like not the face, but just like the tummy, and then it's like, oh, you know, I wanna study that, I suppose. But yeah, like anatomy, pretty important if you like, yeah, want to draw something nice, like something like as a cultured artist, you know. Like if you wanna be like, you know, go more this way, like actually studying anatomy is like important. Not only like drawing cute faces, you know, but also like, yeah, the tummy, or like the boobs, whatever, you know, the gravity, the physics. There's like so much to it, but if it comes to men, it's like, yeah, there's like actually not much, you know. But at the same time, it can be like interesting to study. Like the Korean like game developers are kind of like pretty base, you know, like Stellar Sora. There was like the dude there giving like a really kind of like interesting explanation, you know, like why the side that like with this kind of like body curvature also, like with like E, for example, like Stellar Blade, yes. And yeah, and like interesting. It was like kind of like in a sense with that the female body has like more body fat than like the male. And then like why, for example, like around the dumplings, that the dumplings are like really nice formed, you know, while on the men's side it's like really like solid, you know, a lot more solid. not really like I don't really remember like quite well like everything they've said, but it was kind of detailed. You can like tell, yeah, he did his research, he knows his stuff. And this is like kind of like, you know, respectable, you know. That he has like passion and like, you know, he uses like things like that, but at least, you know, the design's like great, it kicks ass, and yeah, there's actually like some personality there, a fingerprint, like when you look at the designs. But at the same time, like Eve of Stellar Blade, she is based like on a real person. Like they used, you know, like with the motion capture thing, you know, that there actually is like, you know, an actor, and then they used that person's body curvature, you know, and transferred it like to Eve. On the rest they had like to do was like, okay, what outfit, what hairstyle, what face, you know, something like that. So Eve's from Stellar Blade, you know, the main character you play, body curvature, how big her boobas are, how big her dumplings are, they are not unrealistic actually. Those are realistic proportions, even though this might not be something you see like in your everyday, but it exists, you know. Don't let your dreams be memes. Come make it true. Just do it. Or something like that. Cannot draw hair. Okay. At least not believable yet. I can't draw believable. The sketches look like okay. And then yeah, but I can't draw them small enough, sadly. Yeah. Okay, maybe smaller. Trace first, like with the sketch, and then oh gosh. Whatever. I think about it. Yeah, I do like the tummy. I think like maybe I should like study that. You know, like with female artists, when I draw the like the male body parts. When I was like younger, kind of like I felt the energy they put like into the details of like six packs and everything, and it like pushed me back so hard like from getting into it, I suppose, because you know, holy crap, what a freak, what a pervert. But at the same time, when I got like older and look at it, it's like kind of like the fascination's like there of like, man, they really like studied to like learn how to draw our bodies. And this is like not really like unrealistic, like those kind of six packs, you know, like how well toned they are. And you know, especially like if it comes like those masculine like faces, you know, not like those baby faces they like draw like for some semi, you know, like when there's ukin semi, you know, and it's like, ah, okay, yeah. But yeah, it's nothing disgusting, but when you're like a little bit of a younger person, I suppose, and then like really pure, you know, then you might be like, oh, that's too dirty, Hasekashi, we should like ban that, and then nah, do not ban that, you know. Actually, it's like, it can be really pretty good, and sometimes, you know, they come like up with the craziest amount of stories and with the craziest stories out there. And would it be like popular if the mainstream? Nah, but would it be entertaining, you know? Like, yeah, probably, you know. Like, you don't have to entertain the mainstream like with, I don't know, shonen slop or so, like special action scenes or something like that, and like that conflicts are resolved like via, I suppose, like with sick fight scenes. Not really necessary, you know, but yeah. But if there's such something about like, yeah, about love and peace and, or like really intimate love and actually, you know, really intimate love, there's actually also like a way to like solve some conflicts, I suppose. If I think about it, yeah, it can. It's just, this is kind of like sentiment of like, you two just get a room, you know, something like that. If you know what I mean. I wonder if it's symmetrical. I never saw like many art of like Kurumi. At least I didn't like watch it like carefully. Not really sure. The Fox Squad, they all have like kimono Mimi. Yeah, let's focus on like just finishing it rather than like on perfection. I don't have much time, I suppose. Regarding like the stream, I plan like to keep it like another 25 minutes or so. Then yeah, kind of like wrapping it up. Like not like extending until like after midnight, I suppose. Then I like go to bed like at a reasonable time. But I will like see what I can like do before it's like the time is like up, I must like say. I was like kind of like thinking, yeah, talk a little bit, draw like a little bit, you know, to like warm up and then call it a day. Literally I can call it a day and then just go to bed like afterwards. Is she recognizable? Maybe I need to try the halo as well. The freaking halo. But yeah, it's like about drawing in a short time span. But I think like with Yukina I took too much time because warm up. And I like need to like get familiar with like how to draw again, as always. But if it's like the chibi event, I don't really need to think much, but like in this way I need to think because body proportions, you know, I need to like make it believable. If chibi's like, I don't really need to take it seriously, you know. But yeah. Because the thing I like mostly focus on like when I draw chibi is like the expressions, like This is like more where or like so whatever, you know. Like it depends like on the emotions, like the vibes I like want to give off. But if it's like with like those you know, realistic, like, or at least they're like based on humans, you know, when you need like to make the body shape whatever like more believable or like convincing, you know, like yeah, or like tummy whatever, you know, then it's not only like about the expression but like also like did like someone looks eyed, you know. I'm like talking out of my ass, you know. I don't know what, like I'm beginner artist, you know. Don't trust what I say. But yeah, but I'm like able to like scam a lot of people like that, or like dance around like the answer, you know. Sometimes people like, it's like, you know, like sometimes I tell them about that I take care of the cat and then she's not with me anymore. Her parents are back and then it's like, oh, do you feel like, do you miss her or like do you not miss her? And then like for some reason I don't know like why, I kind of like tiptoe around. It's, you know, it's kind of like, you know, I say like, you know, if I'm like aware that the cat's like a better place, I feel good, you know. And then, you know, and then any normal person's like, okay, yeah, I guess it makes sense, and then they don't really bother that much. But some are like pretty awake, you know, and be like, yeah, but do you miss her? And then it's like, when I be like, you know, when we have overtime, when I don't like really feel so guilty and like so pressured anymore to like go home fast, you know. And then I don't really like answer the question on like if I would like miss whether or not the cat is like with me. Like I did like cat sit, you know, and it's a pretty cute one. Her meowing, it's like so, I don't know, it's cute when she meows. It's nothing like, okay, can sometimes be annoying, but it's pretty cute actually. And yeah, but would I really miss her? It's like, you know, like one thing I can like say, a lot of like weight, a lot of like work has been lifted from me, but at the same time, when I went to bed, and I woke like up a few times, sleep paralysis demon striked again. When the cat was with me, slept on me, I didn't usually had like those sleep demon paralysis attacks, you know, like it wouldn't like usually occur. So maybe I did. Maybe it's just like that she's like kind of like making my stress level go down. Usually like when you have sleep paralysis, it's like because you're stressed. But I was like, she's not here with me anymore. Shouldn't I feel like, yeah, let's go, I'm free? But I suppose I feel stressed. And I do miss her. Subconsciously. Even if my brain says like, yeah, let's go, you don't have too much work anymore. Somewhere my heart is like, yeah, I suppose so. Humans are like simple, I suppose. But at the same time, I don't get myself like really that much. I do think I'm somewhat of a psycho. That I am not necessarily like a normal dude. Okay, I'm an OG son, some people like say, but why do I come to the conclusion that I'm a kind of a psycho? There are like some kind of childhood stories I could like tell, but at the same time, maybe I'm gonna save that up for a later point. Not sure. I did like some things, you know, where maybe like alarm bells could like ring. Maybe or maybe not. At least like when I think about it, like if I suppose I would like to tell it, and then it's like, you know, it kind of like feels weird. Kind of feels like, yeah, maybe Tosan, this is like too much to like tell. Not even sure if it's like fine for YouTube. I didn't even know like where it started. Or maybe I can tell like where things like started like go a little bit weirdly for me. But regardless, I ended up like being into anime girls, you know, and yeah, draw and like stream, so I guess, you know, you can be like fine with that rather than be like being I don't know, yeah, associate like with psychopaths a lot of like those villains in like, you know, or like serial murder killers, you know. It's like, at least I'm not dead, you know. So I think like happy ending. I mean like some other people like out there, you know, that are like, they have problems, you know, like I probably am not a good guy. I think I'm a psycho or whatever, you know, and then they kind of like want something of a happy ending, you know, but they struggle with themselves, you know. I, for my part, let's say I didn't like realize it really, you know, but now that I kind of like, maybe I am, then it's like, if I look back at like my past, it's kind of like, huh, you know, maybe I'm like weird, like, I have like some screws like loose, I suppose, like not in a freak, you know, but actually I might be like, but yeah. But for the most part, I act like normal, I suppose, you know. There's not really like a normal person out there. Wise person said. There are only like people who like, they're either like crazy or like they're good crazy but good at pretending to be normal. I suppose I'm not necessarily like able to like, at least on stream, to like act normal. Like my true, let's like not say like my true self, but like my weird side, you know, of being a otaku and so, like that does leak out. But regarding the part, I'm like, actually, cannot talk about that, I suppose. This sounds a little bit too weird. Maybe if I like gonna draw manga, I could like maybe create a character of like based on like my on like some things in my childhood, I suppose. But I could have like turned out pretty dangerous, I suppose. You know, when you, I think like every one of you had like those times where like there's an annoying like buzzing fly like flying around, you know? And when you slap that little annoying bug, and then let's go. It's silence now, right? In my case, rather like in my case, you know, like everyone at least like killed in a sense, like at least a bug, and I like a bug. Sometimes like accidentally trampling down to a snail, and then yeah, and then you look down, not only like snail like pretty like flat, but also like there are a lot of like, how do you call it? What remains of like of the house after it has been like trampled down. I think like most people like to some extent experience like something or did something like that. In my case, you know, I did like also like those things with the bugs. But I think like I went like sometimes like a little bit of a step ahead. You know, like people like who have like bug collections. Well, maybe it's like normal, I suppose, you know, like when you figure like about Japanese kind of like anime, you know, that like kids like, hey, I have a beetle here and you have like your beetle, let's have like a insect fight, you know, a bug fight, you know, when like mine's stronger than yours. Oh no, mine's stronger, you know. I think like maybe it's like that, not that weird, but like those bug collectors. It can be like interesting hobby, but at the same time it's kind of like, you know. But but there are also like those people with bug collections that are like of dead bugs, you know. And I was like something of the sort that I had like, let's say when I slept like a fly, like butterfly, and when I like can tell, yeah, this is not really like, let's say like you slap the, you know, you slap the fly when dead. It's not like that you made them to like flounder or whatever, you know. When you pick them up and then look, I would like look like, okay, I slapped them, they are unalive, but where is the injury? Where would like part of like the inner body like would slip out, you know? Like there are like things like a stab wound, there are like things like, I don't know how you call it, like a burst wound or so, like when something gets pressed together at some point, like a balloon, you know, pops like somewhere, you know. And then I'm looking like for this kind of like wound, like where it's like kind of burst out or so. And then I would like put them maybe like in some kind of box, you know, like a candy box or so. And then if some guys like asking me, hey, can I have some candy, you know? And there are like a lot of kids like that. Hey, can you give me something? Can you give me something, you know? And the candy box, you know, it was like seeds, like, okay, here, can you have it? And when I open it, when they see like the dead bag, be like, no. I was this kind of weirdo, I suppose, as a kid. This was like one of the kind of like weird things like about me and with bugs, but they're like a little bit more like regarding that might like go very weird, a little bit concerning maybe as well. Those are like things I don't really like do today, but if I look back at it and let's say I would have kept at it, I could have been dangerous. I kind of like talk to a cat a little bit about that, you know, like maybe it's a little bit weird, you know, maybe I should like talk more on stream rather than like with a cat, you know, maybe it's unhealthy to keep like my sanity like up, but oh, No, actually, no. Let's do it like that. Can I do it? Let's draw hands. Poses. Okay, the shoulders here. Roughly. And then do this, and do this. It's roughly there. And this, 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 and this. Yeah. Maybe it's like a little bit too short. Okay, then maybe there. Like this. Okay, it looks weirder and weirder. Okay, I'm gonna give up on that. Let's draw the face. I have this much available. Nico has pretty big eyes. Can I do it in 4 minutes? It did took more times like for the other girls, I suppose. But yeah, I did like more yapping than actually drawing, I suppose. But yeah, some weird things about me, like with bugs. So if I think back about it, maybe I was not really like a good boy. Yeah. And at the same time, even if I was so weird, then I would like watch like some series, be like TVs, and then there's like something about the hero, you know, like Batman, like Superman, and so be like, yeah, I'm a good person too, and then at the same time, nah, you're not, you know. Like if I look back, you know, you did like some weird shit, boy, you know. Maybe you're not really that good, but the thing is like about kids, they're so pure, you know. They're so pure, they're like so untainted, but when they do like evil things, they don't really like realize that's evil. And it's like this kind of pure evil, you know. You don't have a moral compass like yet, really. It's like always like with my mom, dad's like, no, don't do that. And then if you do that, no candy. Or it's like, no, I want candy. Even yeah, it's like it's pretty easy to motivate like children, you know, kind of like that. Like it's a lot simpler, you know. They don't have to worry, like kids don't have to worry about like rent or like jobs applications or so. They can just like live in, then that's fine, you know. But if it comes like to like things about how to spend time, and then especially like socially or like with other living beings, it can like, yeah, get a little bit weird, especially like if this other living being is like significantly weaker than you. Like something about the hunter instincts like in your might like awaken, you know, even if you're a kid. If you have free time and it's like boring, then and hello, at the very least, like kind of like say hello to your body. Welcome to the stream. I'm like yapping and like drawing a bit. Not much. It's like pretty simple for now. I'm doodling, like warm up a little bit here and there. But yeah, hello. I did a little bit of, let's say like I did a warm of Yukino, I did a little bit of Doodle with Kurumi here. I did try the Halo, so yeah, didn't forget about anything. And I think like gonna wrap it up like really shortly, so I will like do a quick 5-minute doodle of Nico. I like Nico pretty much, but I don't think I can make her justice with like how little time I've like have for now. Let's see. These are very cute. Yeah, thank you. I think like the energy like that I did like on some of the girls like did work out. I really like your art style. Yeah, if you like it, then nice. At the very least, there's like someone who enjoys it. Like you have on the left side some samples about the chibis, you know, I like to draw, and I think a lot of people like those, but sometimes I like go back to the root, like how I like started drawing, and yeah, I like kind of want to grind this part like as well, you know, like it's not only like about the funny expressions and like the derpiness, but also like, you know, I draw because for some people it's like, oh, I like girls, you know, oh, I want to draw tummies, you know, and then they're like specialists like that, you know. And yeah. For my part, I think like I didn't really had like a dedicated waifu or so to draw. I always was like too shy to draw them, kind of. It's kind of like, you know, some people be like so masterful, experience be like, yeah, I can't draw my waifu every day, but for me it's like, what if I do it wrong? What if I ruin the vibes or so? What if I like don't make it right, you know? Then you just like shy away and just like draw other things. And yeah. I did have like some favorite girls, I think, back in the days, but I never drew them really because I was like so... I was lacking the confidence, you know. Let's say that. You don't want to defy your waifu or something else? Yeah, in a sense, you know. You do like the character or like the waifu, you know. And technically you can draw her, but you do want to make it justice, you know? Something like that. There are people like that. Like me. I exist. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah. Okay, it's like past 5 minutes. I didn't really like got much. Let's at least like finish her. Let's finish her. At least so that's like recognizable, like who that is. Really big ears, but I can't like foot them. They're all like different sort of like foxes, I suppose. Like if the ear size is like so vastly different. Tried to draw a bit of Zatsudan myself, tried like the Kisaki board in Blue Archive. Not the proudest thing I did. I think like we are like two people like that, you know. You might have drawn her, you know, but at the same time, I didn't get justice. I don't want to show that. I don't want to show that disgrace of like whatever I like produce, you know. But at the same time, this is the girl you like liked, you know, and it's kind of like, you know, maybe the sentiment, not sentiment, but let's say like, I kind of like want to have like the innocence of like children, you know. What do I mean by that, you know? No, like, currently like the game Pragmata is like out, right? It's like a thing like a lot of people talk about. Or like, it's like a thing that is being talked about, you know? And there's like this android girl Diana, and then you are like, you know, trying to take care of her, and then you do like kind of like mundane things, you know? Like, okay, you do like the combat, she hacks, you know, but outside of those battle parts, there are like things like where you spend like time together. She's like chasing after a cat, you know, she trips and then you catch her, and then sometimes she like draws, and then it's like, you know, like children drawing, be like, hey, look, this is you, this is me, you know. And regarding those kind of drawings, they're not good, but you know, there's something really wholesome and like cute about it, you know. And despite like sucking at like drawing, they did show it to you because, you know, hey, I did it for you, and this is like what I like, you know. I did spend a lot of time with that, you know. Like drawing takes a lot of time, and I kind of like want to have like this kind of attitude of like children, to like not give a fuck, you know, like how bad the drawing is. You just like want to share them, and it's like, you know, maybe we can like say something, you know. Maybe like having kids can be like great, you know, like for confidence, I suppose. And then you see like the meme of like Shinzo Abe and be like, have sex, reproduce, you know, something like that. Maybe it's secret propaganda. But yeah, it does like recall like some things, like how good it's like it is like to not self-doubt too much and just like do it. Don't let your dreams be dreams. Let's go, come make it true. Just do it. Torikaku, yae. I think regarding like Pragmata, recent games, I think like I will wait. I'm pretty sure the game is like banger. I currently don't have the time, really. I'm struggling with my job, with like overtime, and then like doing some dailies and gacha, but at the same time, kinda looking like maybe to like play other games, you know. Need to have a kid in the future that will draw you as a skinny smell alive while smiling. Yes. It will be a blast. It will be a blast. To have like some little brat like drawing something for you. I can remember like back in the days when I did like some drawings, you know, which were pretty crap as a kid. My dad would like used to hang them, you know, on the walls, like in my room. Sometimes in his, like, you know, if I did like drawings of him. It's kind of like, you know, if I look back at this, they're like, hey, that's pretty nice, you know, and it can be always like saying when like some visitors be like, I drew that, and then, oh, you drew that, that's nice, and then yeah, it's like kind of like, you know, I think it's like a win-win somehow, you know, just to draw something, even if it sucks. Hey Uchi-san, hello Kotomi, welcome to the stream. I'm drawing here, but I'm not streaming for like longer, I suppose. I'm gonna let's keep it like 8 more minutes, I would like say, and then yeah, I would like say I'm gonna call it. It's a little bit late at my time zone, like it's midnight right now. 08 or something, but I feel like on your time, like the sun is like down, the sun is like completely gone. It's like darkness here, and oh, the sun is gonna consume me. I need to like run away from it, so I have a time limit here. Please understand. But yeah, talk like about childhood a little bit, and like how you like used to suck at drawing, and I use like the kind of examples like Pragmata with Diana, like this kid you like take care of, you know, that simulator. While like drawing like here some, I suppose, like Fox Girls. Let's cheer Tosna up while he draws some kimonos. Yeah. I did like, let's say I sucked a little bit with the warm-up, you know, but the warm-up is warm-up. So Yukino here, Kirumi, currently draw Nico, at least trying to, and then yeah. I was curious when I noticed it's still day for me. Yeah. Let's say I had like a work day behind me. But like with Monday, Tuesday, for example, pretty long days. Like overtime. We didn't like hit the quota. I mean, we were like not many people like present, you know. And even if we're like a triple of the team or so, they still let us work overtime. It's kind of like, it's not worth it. We're not enough people to like do the work of like a full team in like 2 extra hours and then do it anyways, and then yeah. And it took like a lot of time, and so I lost a lot of energy and like maybe time to like work on my projects, you know. And then but yesterday and today we were like able to clock out on time. I mean, today they are not allowed to let us work overtime, so it's like kind of like nice as well. But at the very least I can like calm down, rest a little bit, and I was like figuring, hey, do a stream today, and then yeah, here we are. Oh, our time, how horrid. Yes. You know, you get more money because you work 2 extra hours, you know. You get like the money of like those 2 extra hours and a little bit of a bonus, you know, I think. If not, it's like but you get a little bit more, you know, if you work more, it's like more hours of like, you know, of your salary, your hourly wage or something like that. You get a little bit more. But at the same time, if you lose time, you lose time. You know, if you lose money, you can gain money. So I saw this as a lose situation, you know, like with doing the extra overtime. But yeah, think about those hours you could have spent regretting you were alive. Oh no, yeah, I could have went back to like that. Life is like a give and take, you know, and it's always like about whether or not I give my life for what, a company, so that they gain more money, I gain a little bit of money. This is not a good trade offer. It's not a good trade offer. I could have used the time to sleep. Very productive. I could have eaten, cooked something, but they didn't give me time to cook. They're gonna be like, never cook again. Let's do this instead. No, I wanna cook. But instead I don't, I'm not allowed to cook and just do some mundane work. At the very least, you know, the team is like there. We all like feel the same, all sitting in the same boat. So it's like shared pain, you know. But at the same time, like working there and be like and being like grumpy and whatever, I think like it won't like be good in the long run. So yeah. I could have watched anime instead. Yeah. Oh, I could have watched a movie, you know, Reza Arc. I could like rewatch that, you know. It's such a good movie. Multiple anime episodes, you know. There are a lot. The season's like pretty strong. Yeah. Let him cook. Yes. You need to let me cook, man. I'm not gonna burn down the kitchen, you know, I'm gonna do something nice. I shared what I cook like once. Maybe not on stream, but yeah. I did cook. I do cook like daily for myself. Do not let him cook. Health hazard. Ah, no. I promise I'm decent. I can do something. But yeah, back in the days, I was like pretty tolerant like regarding like overtime or so, you know. Because it was like, yeah, getting more money, let's go. But you know, as time goes like on, I do realize how much this like sucks out of my life. How like I lose like more and more like opportunities, I suppose, you know. Sometimes it's like, hey, there's this event, you know, they're like my friends. In that sense, it's like, you know, friends gotta be like, hey, wanna hang out? And I would just be like, nah, I need to work. You know? And if you repeat it over and over again, at some point the friends are gonna stop like asking you, and then you're like left all alone, and then, you know, sometimes the family can be like that well. And if they just stop asking, and then it kind of feels like you lose something, you know? Like, you're not a machine, you are a human being who creates a connection, you know? Like, we are like social creatures, you know? And we do like want to like be with people together. Okay, like if we work, we are like with work colleagues and so, but they're not the same as like friends or like family, you know? So, yeah. It becomes like more and more like, I realize it's more and more. Especially like when I had like 2 cats and then I do like know the cat's waiting for me. She's missing me, and then I need to come back, and then it's like, we haven't hit the quota yet, so sad, it's time for overtime. And I'll be like, no, I need to go back. Kono basho, eh. It's better than making a pot get swollen while trying to look some instant talk about with some friends. It said it looks like that. Oh gosh. Naive Panafiogus? Oh gosh. Okay, buddy, you cook like something interesting. Kitty! Yeah, I really want a cat. Cat is like pretty nice. Actually, they are like pretty low maintenance. Not as like difficult as you think. If they're neutered, you know, spayed neutered, they're like pretty easy to take care of, and they respect your sleep cycle or like your routine, you know. Regarding your sleep cycle, they really like respect that, you know. They sleep with you, they like adjust their sleeping routine as well, so that they like sync up with you if you have routine, you know. And yeah, it can like work pretty well. Pretty adorable beings. But if they're not spayed neutered, they get at some point like in the heat season, you know, and they get pretty annoying. I had like to deal with this kitty that was like not spayed neutered. And then yeah. But I talked with the owner about that, and they're okay with like doing that. Just need to like find out like when we can get a appointment. Like when can we do that? Because it costs like a lot of money as well. Look man, I tried my best, okay? Only blunder was not having water inside that pot to absorb heat. Kinda crazy fuck up cooking noodles. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Not having water? This is crazy. But yeah. Yeah, I heard that cats are annoying to deal with when they grow a bit. It's a little bit weird on like what one guy who has not like educated themselves, like what their view is like on spaying neutering is, you know. But With cats, it's like that then heat, and then they're gonna have like those mating calls, like wow, wow, and they're like pretty loud, you know, especially, and they get like really, really clingy, you know, pretty attached to you, and they're not really like, let's say like if it's playtime, you know, you play with them first, simulate a hunt, and afterwards you feed them, you know, it's like the kind of reward. But they don't feel like playing, they just like want to mate, I suppose, and connect with another cat, but just like the kind of like instincts, you know, that lead them. It's nothing like with humans where we like feel pleasure. For them it's like, you know, it's just in their nature, you know, to do that. And actually like this kind of process of mating hurts for both parties. Actually it's like pretty and yeah, if you imagine like a cat goes like this state like outside, you know, and then it's like, you know, you let their daughter outside of the world, and then there's like some random guy be like, hey, wanna like hang, and then they not hang, they actually don't hang, and then it's like, you know, they go like somewhere in the back alley or like loft hotel, and then yeah, it might not be like single guy, maybe like multiple dudes, and I don't know what to think about that. And then the cost of like taking care of like multiple cats, you know, it can get out of control, you know, if you're not ready. If you're like ready on having like multiple cats, you know, I suppose. But cats are pretty good at reproducing, you know. They can be like more than you can take care of, and then it can be like kind of sad to like give them away to a shelter or like another owner, you know, another person. And sometimes a friend or something you know of, you know, you can like develop something like, I don't know, like guilt, I suppose. Be like, man, I dumped this cat onto this person, I'm so sorry, you know. And yeah. No, kinda crazy that you heated the pot. Yeah, okay. This was meh, learned something. Funny when kitties change the way they meow when you're near. I love it so much. Yeah, it's pretty much like that. She has a pretty cute meow. Even when I was like absent, her meowing was still on the cute side, actually. I don't remember something. I had some relatives who had our cat. The cat ran away one day and returned pregnant. They all called her a whore. Yeah. pretty much. Like, if they're in heat, like if it's like this season, it's like that. I mean, they're just kitties, you can't really blame them. Yeah, they're just cats, they're not humans, you know. In the end of the day, they're just like wild beings if you like don't spay neuter them. If you just want a house cat, you know, then do that, and then you have like a nice life out there. Especially for a male cat, like when they get like spayed neutered. Also a female, but still, you know, could be better if you do those kind of precautions on like, yeah, on that. I had like the pleasure with that, and I was like kind of assuming when I like took cat sitted her for like 2 years ago for like about 1-2 months, you know, that she was like spayed neutered. But when like happened like once within the 3 months, you know, like for about 5 days, it was surprising, like how she stopped respecting my sleep schedule, woke me up like middle of the night. I couldn't like sleep for 4 days really. I had like little sleep, very little sleep, and kind of like, yeah. And I educate myself, why the fuck would she wake me up, you know? And I didn't know why. I when I researched, I learned why, and then it's kind of like, yeah, can I get angry at someone? Not really, but would have been nice if I have been informed beforehand to like have some countermeasures against that ready. I had to adapt on the fly. Like, humans are adaptable to like situations, not like animals. Most animals. My cat once got another cat in the house and she gave birth under in bed. It was horrible. Ah. Yeah. It can be cute with the kitties, but you know, it's about the responsibility of taking care of many. Sometimes you can't do that, you know. It's always like sad if you have to say like goodbye to them after you try to raise them. So that they at least don't die, you know. Until they get big enough. Wow, it's 2 AM. I forgot summertime change today. Gotta go sleep. Have a good evening. Okay, bye bye. Good night to you. When we neutered my kitty, he peed all over the care. Funny AF, but he got scolded. Yes. I don't know, why would they like pee? After I get neutered. He's a researcher, I suppose. I mean, if it's a kitty, not a grown-ass cat, you know, I suppose they didn't learn. Where's like the appropriate place to like pee, I suppose. I think like if a more adult cat should be like fine. They did experience climax, like me, the cat I had the pleasure to cat sit. I did help them, let's say, masturbate, like how his human said, you know? Like pressing up, like in the case of a cat's like pressing a pressure point, like somewhere between the hip bone and like a tail or so. Somewhere between there. Not like entering directly the hole, just like aside from it. And then it can help them calm down. And then you have like your peace for like a few hours, something like that. And I think like, yeah, she experienced climax, so it's like fine to like neuter her, right? If you like neuter them and they don't have like the experience of like that, it's kind of be like, you know, miss something out in life. But at the same time, I think like I'm like careless enough to just ignore that. I kind of like think I'm like I can be pretty much careless in like in many kind of ways, as long as like benefits myself. You know, a little bit egoistical, you know. I think about myself first rather than like something different, but you know, when you like start caring for something, then I suppose you can like not longer be putting yourself above something. That's the one thing that you like. The anesthesia was a bit too hard for him. No, I do not know how to spell that word. I don't know if I pronounce it like properly as well. Not sure. But yeah. Here we are. Not enough doodles. But whatever. I didn't have much time. But whatever. Let's do the canvas adjustment and then call it a day, I suppose. Some doodles. 90 minutes. What do you mean care for something? But you're still being cruel and rude to me? Yeah, I suppose I am cruel. I am like not a good person. Yeah. I mean, even when I was a child, I was like not on my best behavior as well. I always like made some problems. And then I got like beaten up. Beaten up. I got like slapped left and right. I would never forget the pain. No matter how fast I would like run, I never could like escape the pain. It was like a rough life as a kid. And now look at what person I am now. childhood is like one thing, one place in life where it can like really affect like your personality, your whole future, how you approach like life in it as you grow up. Doodles, you say, as I stared at 3 almost full drawings. They're not really complete, you know. I suppose they're like kind of like okay, but yeah, you're basically dead, I suppose. Not Brad would have guessed so. Yeah, I talked like a little bit about myself like before my first chat house. You body came in. Let's go. I talk like a little bit of myself. I suppose with the audience or only if a lurking audience. Not really sure. I don't want to know either. You know, I will like see if I like end the stream. But I was a weird kid, I suppose. I mean, like I watched like cartoons. You know, I was rooted for the good guy. You know, and I love to believe that I was a good guy as well. A good kid. I always like to serve anything, the world, you know, but if I look back, I had like some screws loose. And let's say if I went a little bit further and further with like the weird thing I did, I could have been a really bad person. I have like some tendencies or like some personality traits I kind of like recognize, yeah, a little bit of a thing that normal humans don't have or so. But overall, I am able to behave and be a part of the society, you know? I always like the villains just because I like to fight people. Yeah. But, you know, like a wise person said, there are no normal people. They're only crazy people. They're either crazy people or they're crazy people who know how to act normal. I might be like number 2 here. But yeah. You're not a true bad person, you know. I feel like you're actually very nice. But you're so really rude and cruel to me. Ah, yeah. Special treatment, you know. Everyone deserves like every once in a while, you know, you give like a person you're like really acquainted to some special treatment, you know. You're like someone you like meet on a regular basis, you know. Something like that. I didn't like really fully render. So like Yukino here has like this girl here has like black hair, so Kurumi here has blonde hair. I can leave that as it is. And Nico, she has like pink hair, but I don't really want to like do the magic. I leave it at that. So yeah. That also raises the question: what is normal? How do we define normal? So complicated. I mean, would you say it's normal? When you open a candy box of a child, there's like that box in there. Could you call it normal? When like kids start like find fascination about the corpse of like dead bugs. There's maybe an argument that there might be like those bug collection, you know, like that you see like in some biology lab, you know, like the how the anatomy of a bug is, for example, or that some kids have like living bugs, you know, like a beetle, and when they have like a fight, you know, like, hey, this is my beetle, this is your beetle, let's then battle each other, something like that, you know, like Beyblade, but like with bugs, you know. There might be an argument that this might be a little bit of normal, a little bit of a weird hobby, but like definitely not like a abnormal hobby, you know. But if I look at my cases, it's like a little bit, maybe I could have been a lot more, to me, normal is being like me, liking the thing I like or being interested in the same topics, but it doesn't make it true, you know. Yeah, the whole world cannot like circulate around you. As a kid, I was like kind of thinking, circulate around me. I was really spoiled, I must like say. I was like a spoiled kid. So I had like always like the kind of thought that that I can get all the treats, that I can like get all the games or so, whatever I like wanted to please. And if I knew like if I cry, then I probably will get help. I was conditioned like that my dad will like come to help me, you know. My dad is like, you know, it's a single dad. He was a single dad. Like raised me alone. And I really liked him. And if I looked back at it, it's like, yeah, a lot of respect actually. I was like a really bratty, spoiled kid, you know. Thank you like for enduring all of that, you know. Something like that. Beetle Beyblade, lol. Yeah, pretty much like that. Then you have the arena, and then you have like, you know, not like Beyblades, but like some beetles fighting each other. And then yeah, that sounds dope though, besides the brattiness. Yeah. But I suppose, you know, that's like how it works. When I watch like some anime, they're like those Ojo-samas that like really spoiled, you know. I kinda feel like, yeah, that sounds about right. I was like this way too, you know. But, you know, once my dad like actually married, because he was kind of worrying that he can't like raise me alone all the time, you know, and that he needs like a woman in the house. Let's say this is like where this brattiness kind of stopped with me being spoiled and everything. Because actually the mother was pretty like strict. You know, like Asian moms or like Asian parents. This was like pretty much like an Asian mom, I felt like. So yeah. So when I watch like those videos from like Stephen He, you know, like emotional damage, this is pretty much like, you know, something I'd be like, yeah, it's pretty much, it was pretty much like that. And yeah, I got like corrected that they put like the "ooh, correction" card out there, and then yeah. And then I stopped being like bratty, and yeah, I suppose they did things to me. They did things to me, and I remember they will. I'll never be like bratty kid again. I mean, yeah, I got literally collected, yes. I will end up acting like that, that's why limits need to be set. Yeah, I got like a lot more humble, you know, I suppose. And sometimes if I visit like other friends' houses, you know, and they look at my table manners, or like how I treat like older people, you know, like how I treat like the mom of my friend, they'd be like, man, you're so polite, you know. And I'm gonna be like, yeah, my parents raised me well, and you know, they'd be like, hey, what if I have you as my kid here and I treat my son like you you know, with you, and then they can raise my son, and I can have your company, something like that, you know, like just a little bit to brag about. But yeah, just like to say, I got corrected literally. And yeah, I mean, I never got the chance to be bratty. My man would have killed me. Yeah, yeah. Like some households are like that. But, you know, if you never have been bratty really, especially in front of like adults, and they have like you in good memory, I suppose it's nice. But maybe if you get in a relationship, you know, I don't know, sometimes it's like that you know, it's like the first date when people like be like showing themselves on the best side, but if you like are like with them for a long time enough, then you see like the true colors, you know, maybe the brattiness can like show up there. Who knows? But yeah, it's about accepting like the weird like parts of like humanity or like of a person, you know. I'm like weird as well, like you know already that I'm weird, and still hang out with me. That's like respectable. Some people only come over because, oh, I play like certain game, or like, oh, first impression, but you know, like over time you like realize, oh, I don't like this part, or oh, he bratty, oh, he like self-centered or whatever, you know, but yeah. But you know, like with some people it's like the same as, you know, sometimes I have like impression, hey, this VTuber looks pretty nice, and when I listen to the voice, be like, okay, there's exit, you know, but yeah. But sometimes I do give them a second chance and then be like pleasantly surprised, and then yeah, I'm gonna stick longer. Nah, weird. What do you mean? What? Nah. You're so cool. Don't say that. I mean, if people decide to leave me, I know why. I know why. That I know. I'm self-aware, pretty much. Like how I can like appear, but it's like why I don't like show it like on the real life, you know. I'm pretty much like controlling myself. But yeah, there's like something of a mask or like identity, you know, you like put on in front of other people. But if I stream, I can like literally like not to give a care about that, then yeah. I said because you seem cool, I don't know, most of the games you play and stuff. That makes me happy. Makes me happy. Controlling, lol, holding back the weirdness. Yeah, I mean, it's like Junipyo, you know? Where people like wear a eye patch or have like some bandages around their wrist or so, and then be like, ah, my arm. It's like reacting. What? Why do you wear the wrist? Wearing the like the bandage around the wrist? There's a deadly seal on there. If I unleash it, you don't know what it's gonna happen. Oh, it's like vibrating. Oh, it's gonna come out. I have to hold it in. Kaido, the Dark Reunion, Judgment Night. Yeah. Ugh, I need to continue to watch that. I think like I'm not really sure like where I was at which episode. Maybe it's season 1, episode 21 or so. But it was like kind of nice. Of course, there's like, also the manga, but but I kind of stick for anime, even if I know this was like not the like most amazing animated thing. I kind of like got entertained, you know. And if I got entertained, it was good. Okay, gonna wrap it up for now. I will be back in 2 days. Technically for me it's like tomorrow, but I will be like coming back with our art stream, and I will be trying Gerard T-Rex Fort. I watched it like 3 times, mostly as BJ, but still can't. Yeah. Okay, good night. Yeah, good night to me. And to you, I'm gonna say like, you know, have a nice rest of the day, evening, or good night, whatever times of the world you all are. With that, I'm gonna say bye bye.